The conceit of the taxonomy is that you should have a common language about instruction and practice. We emphasize certain aspects of it more and even customize so much the way that we think our school should run. But there's really two goals. One is to make sure kids get as much instructional time as possible. So there's this idea that time is really important. And then secondly, it gives teachers the opportunity to assess kids immediately when they come into class. Kids don't talk in between classes, and kids don't talk when they come into class. So entrances are silent. That's something specific to this school that we think motivates kids and teachers, and it's part of our shared practice here. One of the things that taxonomy and talks about and people define in different ways is this idea of joy, like the joy of schooling and the joy of having a classroom that's engaged. And what's great about that aspect is that it's dependent on the individual, it's dependent on the kid, that they can kind of create that culture that they see. So specific to this school, we had a student who was hearing impaired a couple of years ago, and the international sign language for applause is silent applause and shaking one's hands. Kids like doing it, and now that's become a cultural habit in many classrooms, that when kids get excited about something and maybe they're agreeing with something someone says, or maybe they're very happy about some news they got, they show that kind of silent support so that kids are being joyful but also task-based. And the same thing with snapping of fingers. You think back to kind of, beat poetry days, and that's kind of how it started, as we had, a teacher who had seen it actually at another school and said, is a really kind of nice way to recognize kids' work without disrupting work.